at U.S. embassies in Libya, Egypt, and Yemen. At this time, some are saying they're in response to an anti-Islam film that made fun of Islam's most revered figure, the Prophet Muhammad, and others are arguing that some of these attacks, including one in Libya that claimed the life of, among others, the ambassador, Christopher Stevens, the U.S. ambassador to Libya, could be timed to mark the 9/11 anniversary. Dr. Barbara DeGeorge, the academic dean at Northwood University and professor of Middle Eastern Studies, is joining us live. Give us some perspective on the attacks and about the concerns about what it says, first of all, about security for the U.S. in the Mideast, but also our global reach and long-term concerns in that part of the world.
Well, I think that in general that it's not really a problem for security in the Middle East. I think if you look at Libya, Cairo, and Yemen, where the attacks took place, you're talking about three countries that have very weak governments, that are fledgling, that have just gotten a complete changeover, and therefore they are prime candidates for Islamic radicals to attack. And I think they used the film being produced by Americans as an excuse to try to get the religious people to try to get their power in.
Some worry that Egypt particularly is the biggest issue here because it was equivocal in its response to the attacks. Your response to that, what should next steps be for the U.S. in your mind?
Well, I think the next steps have to be that we have to be on alert to protect our citizens who are over there, and if necessary, be able to evacuate them if it has to be. I think it's a shame that Egypt didn't react immediately.
More forcefully about the attacks. Or
more forcefully. The embassy had a call for police action there.
What do you say to people who inevitably, Americans will watch this, viewers will watch it and say, let's turn our back on the place. Here we lost a U.S. ambassador, Christopher Stevens, who really helped liberate Libya.
Correct.
With the help of the U.S. and an allied force. And now, as the Secretary of State said, he died even though he was part of that effort. And a lot of people are saying to heck with it. What do you say?
I'm saying that we can't back off. And knowing Christopher Stevens' stance and what he's done over there, he would be the first one to say, don't turn your back.
We have to be engaged in that part of the world.
We have to be engaged, because if we're not engaged, we're opening it up for the Islamic radicals to come in and to take over and to gain a power hold. So we need to have a presence of democracy there and to help those folks, and most of the Libyans are very happy that we helped topple the Gaddafi government, and they look towards the support of the United States, whether it be moral support, political support, or even economic support.
Dr. Barbara DeGeorge, I know we're skimming just the very surface of an enormously complicated topic, an enormously contentious and complicated part of the world, but we thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it very much.
Kelly?